Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Jill Lublin Show. So great to have you here. And you'll be glad you're here too, because we today have Bernardo Moya. He is the founder and chief inspiration officer of the Best You brands, including Best You Expo, which I've been blessed to be a speaker at, Best You TV, and he's the author of The Question, Find Your True, Find Your Purpose. The Question, Find Your Purpose. That's the name of the book. Welcome, Bernardo.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you.
Great to see you too. And we've been in a wonderful connection for many years. I know you're a man of true inspiration. I love calling you the Chief Inspiration Officer, and I'm just wondering where you get that wonderful inspiration from.
I don't know. I've always been one to think out of the box. I've always wanted to do things differently or do things that people weren't necessarily doing. I think it was also kind of like, learning how to think with my NLP training definitely was kind of like a game changer for me. But yeah, I've always been very interested in doing new things, different things, always been excited about launching a new project, a new brand. I just love developing brands and creating brands, and then seeing how they grow over years. It's yeah, I love doing it.
Well, you certainly have been doing it. I know you've led huge events in London and Dallas and Dubai and LA, and it goes on and on and on. And so what I see about you is this person who is always like pulling more, like you pull more. And I think for others, meaning you pull more out of what you're doing, and then you provide opportunities and platforms for others to shine too. And to me, that's amazing. So I know there's some people might not be feeling so shiny today, or, might need a little more inspiration. What would you say to somebody listening today for how to inspire themselves in a moment? What do you do?
Well, I think one of the things that I've always done was listen. I've hit rock bottom many times. I've failed beautifully in many projects and businesses over the years, and kind of the economy has hit me bad. I had two real estate bubbles, and then I moved to the UK when there was a massive European crisis, and obviously training wasn't at the top of the agenda, and obviously now a pandemic. So I've gone through quite a few challenges in my own personal life. But one of the things that I've always done is I've always appreciated and understood that I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful for what I have. I'm very grateful for the things, the family that I have, my education, my languages, the fact that I can breathe, I can travel, So I think a lot of people tend to, pity themselves a lot and think, oh, why me? Why are things happening to me? Why is it always me? But at the end of the day, really, we really know that there's probably what 6, 7, 5, 4 billion people on the planet that would probably give everything, to give what you have or what we all have. So I think always reframing when I've had dark moments and things have been very challenging, I always would ask myself, if I what would I do or what would I give to be where I am now? Who would love to be in the position that I'm in? Who would give up pretty much everything and they probably have nothing to be where I am today? And that gives me strength to appreciate and understand and stop complaining. Complaining is a form of negativity. I really try to make sure that I surround myself by positive people, positive messages. I don't want any bad news. I don't watch the news unless I really have to. So, I think the concept and idea around positivity, reframing why I'm still lucky and I'm very grateful for what I have. And then, understanding and appreciating that, hey, today was bad, today's going to be a better day. So always look at the bright side of life and visualize where you want to go. I think a lot of people, and that's kind of my book as well, is about trying to get people to understand the importance of your own internal dialogue. People have terrible internal dialogue, and it all starts with yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, right? It is our responsibility every day to set ourselves right. And I appreciate the fact that you say it's not all roses, right? And I think for most of us, anyone who others see as successful, that we too have our challenges. But I love that you said, listen, it is up to you and your reframe. I think that's great. So in your book, The Question, Find Your Purpose, what I would love to know is what are some main points? You were saying that this is part of what you're saying in your book. So what and how do we find our purpose?
Well, I think it is down to I think it is down to asking yourself empowering questions, and I think I came up with a brand, the best you, because ultimately I think we're all here for for that reason. We want to become the best version of ourselves, or we should want to become the best version of ourselves. A lot of people, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, have given up on life as far as, hey, that's it, I can't change, I can't move to a different country, I can't change careers. So people have that victim mentality, and I think one of the things that we all have to aspire to is to becoming the best version of yourself, and it starts by, as I said, having that right mindset and asking yourself empowering questions. So if you ask yourself, how can I be better tomorrow? How can I make a difference? How can I help other people? How can I lose weight? How can I become more confident? How can I become a better entrepreneur? All those are empowering questions that can then trigger your mind consciously and unconsciously to start finding the solutions. And sometimes those questions are tough, but those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Why don't I lose weight? Well, you probably know why you don't lose weight, and you've got to ask yourself, you've got to answer the right questions. So for me, what I've discovered at a later part of my life, and I'm talking about my 50s, was, and I think it was to a degree, my dad died at 54. He was obviously young, luckily I'm already 56. And it was always in the back of my mind, that thought of, what if I don't reach, if I can't be older than that. And I thought, oh my God, my dad still had so many things he could have done, if he was still around. He was a very young soul. And I just don't want to be in that situation where, I get to the end of my life and I regret what I haven't done. So I think we've all got to go in, all in, and we have to become the best version of ourselves, not only for ourselves personally, but to inspire our kids, to inspire, our colleagues, our co-workers, to make a better city, a better country, a better town, a better world, and I really, really believe that, and that's my objective with myself and the best you, is that if we all focus on becoming the best version of ourselves, the world is technically going to become a better place. And I think that's why, we're in a beautiful industry, you helping people getting their book published, and then, helping them share their message, and myself personally, and providing platforms either through the Best You Expos or the Best You TV, is to help people share those messages so we can all go out there and make the world a better place. The world has changed so much in the last couple of years, so much dramatically and forever. And I think for good, but I think we have to take advantage of this moment, of these times that we have, to really, to really prepare the world, to I don't know, redistribution of wealth, people dying from diseases that they shouldn't die, slavery, plastic in the oceans. There's so many things that the world needs to address. And it's not only about us making money. It's not only about us, becoming better individuals, but it's about how we can make the world a better place. And that's my objective. And that's how I think people can ultimately try and find their true purpose, is by asking themselves empowering questions. And the first one is, what am I here for? What am I here for on this planet? What am I going to leave behind? What's my legacy going to be? Those are empowering questions.
I love that. And I think it's powerful to ask those questions, because I was just going to ask you, what is that first question? So, and on those days, because and especially in this pandemic, we know this has been challenging for so many. And although I don't buy into it, and I know that you don't either. And yes, what happens? What's the best question on those days when we don't feel like it, or it's a tougher day? What question should we ask ourselves then? I think that would be helpful.
Well, I think I think, it is aimed around, really focusing on what you want. You know, a lot of people tend to really focus on what they don't have, and what they had. So, i.e., they live in the past. And I think, in order to, to be able to achieve great things, you need to think great things. In order to achieve greatness, you need to surround yourself by great people. In order to learn, you need to learn more. So, kind of, you need to be looking at where you want to go. and focus on that ultimate goal. Look, any successful entrepreneur, any explorer, any adventurer, any inventor, anyone and everyone that has done anything visualized it in their mind first. And was it, or did they have difficult, challenging situations? Absolutely. You know, people that climbed Mount Everest or crossed the North Pole, or, you know, got on the first plane and crossed the oceans. These are scary, challenging things. But at the end of the day, if you really focus on what you want, not on what you don't want, you're going to start really looking at it. So brush it off, focus in the future. And then, you know, if you are really aware of that internal dialogue and it is saying negative things to you, or you find your mind, you know, going back and starting to explore, you know, kind of the things that happen to you, hey, direct your mind. Your mind is yours. And I think, you know, one of the things that helps me a lot, and I do a lot, is meditate. Meditation is great. I think exercising is very important, and having the right balance in life with everything, being congruent, I think is a really important thing. I think, you know, and you know probably a lot of people yourself, Jill, but I'll tell you, I've met a lot of people that have written all sorts of great things. I don't know, I've met people that have written books about happiness and they're very miserable. You know, I've read, you know, I've talked about people that are very confident and they're not. You know, I've talked about people that are very successful and they're not. So ultimately, being congruent, being a person that's honest, being a person that, you know, you walk your talk, and you're prepared to say no, and you're prepared to walk away from people. And then, as I said, the right mindset, the focus on where you want to go and what you want to do, that will help you, you know, really have a clear purpose and or ultimately, hopefully, get there quicker and easier.
Oh, Bernardo, as usual, you inspire my heart. You fill our minds with beautiful things to focus on. I love that. And I think your message is so timely and important for right now. So I appreciate you sharing this today.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
you bet. So I know people are going to want to connect to you. And do you have something or some way they can connect to you?
Sure, absolutely. So my webpage is Bernardo Moya. So it's Bernardo, Bernardo hyphen Moya, Moya.com. There's lots of resources there. I'm actually giving my audio version of the book away at the moment. I started doing it this year because I think it's very, very current. And then obviously my brand is called The Best You. So you can find us on thebestyou.co, thebestyou.tv, and thebestyouexpo.com. So those are kind of all my brands, and you can check me out, but feel free to message me. I'm obviously on Facebook, Instagram. People can just message me whenever they want. Anything I can do to help, I'll be there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bernardo, for being here with us. And we appreciate you.
Jill, thank you so much for your great work that you do, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Go to, hey, check it out, publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift and get some fabulous PR ideas for supporting you to get your message out. That's what we want for you. Keep being kind, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.